but I think we have something else that we're going to talk about, Memphis related and former Tiger related,
Yep.
before we move on to the hot three, and that revolves around James Wiseman,
Yep.
who re-signed with the Indiana Pacers today after being traded last year to the Raptors after he tore his Achilles and then immediately waived. Now he's re-signing with Indiana, so it's been a rough road for the former number 2 overall pick and former number 1 overall player coming out of high school.
Yeah, man, just a sad. Obviously, we have James kind of holds a special place in our heart because of the time we got to spend with him while he was at East High School, and then at Memphis for the short amount of time he was there. But yeah, what a wild ride for James Wiseman, right?
Yeah.
In the NBA.
Have we ever like told that? I don't know if we've ever told that like we might have at some point in time, but like for those that don't know why Kenny's saying we spent a lot of time with him, and that could sound like some journalist or someone in the media just saying that to say that. Me and Kenny were actually filming a documentary with that. What was that? The 2019 class? Is that right?
That was the guys from Memphis in that 2019 class. Damian Ball.
Damian Ball, DJ Jeffries, James Wiseman, Malcolm Dandridge.
Yeah.
We were filming a documentary with him, and we spent specifically with Malcolm and James a lot. And DJ. It was really only Damian that we hadn't fully gotten like our one-on-one interviews with him yet.
Yeah.
But with James, Malcolm, and DJ Jeffries, we had spent hours and hours and hours with. How many East High School games did we go to?
Oh, a lot.
Probably 10.
Yeah, a lot.
I think you went through their whole state championship run, correct?
I did. I was. What's crazy is, and Malcolm and I are still close. We talk about it still. I was in the locker room the night, or I was filming the game the night in the regional tournament where he tore his ACL for the first time, which caused him to, I guess, to start really having all the injury issues that he was having.
Ankles, knees, all that stuff.
Ankles and the knees and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So Malcolm and I, we joke around about it a lot, just about kind of being in the locker room at halftime when he was realizing that his knee injury was pretty severe. And
no, I mean, it was to the point where we literally went to we went to Malcolm. We went to all three of their houses. Like we have been to Malcolm's house, DJ's house, and James Wiseman's house when his mother were living in Memphis. Like picked them up from their house, spent probably 5, 6, 7 hours with each one individually. Long story short, like the documentary never came out because as soon as it was in like the editorial process and getting ready to be released, all the stuff came out about James, and he ultimately left the University of Memphis, and it blew up the documentary. But all that to say, like those guys, you really won't ever hear me or Kenny talk bad about those guys because we have had a personal relationship with those guys. But I'm with you. Like it's been tough for him. It's been hard to watch because I just remember kind of the excitement you and I had when he got drafted to Golden State. Like we talked about it. He was the perfect fit for them, playing next to Steph and Clay and Draymond, and for whatever reason, it didn't really work out there. He's been bitten by the injury bug multiple times and just never been able to really get his feet under him in the NBA and play a ton of games consecutively. And then with the latest injury being in the first game of the season this past year, tearing his Achilles, like it's just been really hard to watch for someone that we, did have a close relationship to. So I really don't have anything negative to say about him at all. But it is tough because we thought he was going to be one of the best.
Surefire.
No doubt.
It's so interesting now because you look at obviously pick number 2 in the draft to the Golden State, and everybody, I mean, like you said, we were all on the phone like this is a perfect fit for him because he was one of the original, I guess, kind of unicorns that were coming out of the high school game during that time period where, especially here in Memphis, that we were calling Jaren Jackson Jr. And this is when Jaren wasn't even at top form like he is now. He had that same kind of game where you could trust him in the post, trust him to play defense, and also he could stretch the floor.
Yeah.
And he could put the ball on the ground. I mean, he did a lot and he was at least 3 or 4 inches taller than Jaron while he was a senior in high school.
Easy 7'1".
And so I think there was an idea that, coming out, then you even saw him in those couple of games that he played for Memphis, and it was like, holy crap, man.
Yeah,
like,
he was dominant.
Just dominant. And you wonder, like, the kind of the what ifs, if you will, like what that Memphis team, that 2019 Memphis team would have looked like. If you think about the talent that was on that team, multiple professionals were on that team, right? Like, Precious Achiuwa played in the Eastern Conference Finals this past year for the New York Knicks. James, obviously, number 2 draft pick in his draft class. Then there was
DJ at the end of that year was a killer until he got hurt, and I feel like that really derailed his career. Like, I don't know. It's just tough to look back on and say, like, this guy was the number 2 pick. You thought he would be signing maxes by this point and be making a team, compete for a championship, and now he's kind of just floating around. And
truthfully, we don't know. Like, this Indiana thing, it could be just a flyer, right? Like, he signed for the terms are undisclosed, but I would almost suspect that it's a vet minimum type of situation,
right?
Where he's coming in and he's behind Tony Bradley, who played in the NBA Finals this year for the Indiana Pacers. He's behind former Memphis Grizzly Jay Huff, who just got traded to the Pacers. He's probably coming in as the third big on that team, the third center on that team.
Yeah.
There's a strong likelihood he might not make this team. And so it's just like, man, like it's such a distinct, like, it's not what we expected, I think, for him.
No, right? Not at all. And hopefully something crazy happens. He gets his body right and he has.
I'd love it.
Yeah. Has a resurgence because he's only 23 years old, which is crazy. It's crazy to think about. He got drafted 5 years ago and he's 23 years old. But
what's crazy is, I wanted to ask you this. It just got announced a few minutes ago that Paolo Banchero signed a rookie max deal, a rookie extension max deal. So it's like 5 years, like 287 million, like unbelievable amount of money, right? And I remember it's so funny to me, like, back then during Paolo and during James's time in high school, me and you were more in the gym than we are now. Like, we don't cover high school athletics the way that we did back then. We spent a lot of time on the road going and seeing players play. The first time I ever heard Paolo Banchero's name out of anybody's mouth, like in Memphis especially, was from you. And you had seen him in some like random gym somewhere.
No, it was at the NBPA Top 100 camp in Charlottesville.
Oh, I thought it was at some random gym. My bad.
No, it was NBPA Top 100 camp. I guess he was going into his sophomore year because it was him and Chet were in the same class.
Right.
Everybody
Wasn't that in Birmingham? Wasn't that in
No,
Birmingham?
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Birmingham was like an AAU tournament, but him and Chet were in the same class, and like I didn't know anybody there. Like you didn't come with me. Like I just went by myself, and so it's all it's all journalists from all around the country, and so I didn't know anybody, but everybody that I kept hearing talk about was talking about Chet Holmgren, and like Chet was great, like obviously, yeah. But Paulo was the one that was catching my eye the whole time, and I was just like, this kid is legit. Like, he is incredible. And so you're right. That's somebody that I got to see, fortunately, very early in his career, and was just like, he is unstoppable. And
you came home after that weekend. You came home after the weekend and said he's a pro, like immediately. Like he's the guy to watch out for. And it seems like that's become obviously pretty clear. Like he was a guy that you just signed, like I said, just signed a $287 million extension. He's the face of the Orlando Magic at this point. Like, he's the guy. Are you surprised that, and I know a lot of it is injuries, but did you think, who were you more certain about in terms of career trajectory, James Wiseman or Paolo Banchero?
That's really hard to say because they were both so good. Honestly, it was probably James, just because of the personal bias that I had of just the time that we spent with them. And Oh, also, I forgot we followed him to the McDonald's All-American game, and we were
Yeah.
with him the whole weekend. So, like,
McDonald's, we went to Las Vegas with
oh,
them.
yeah,
We
we
were
went to Las Vegas to the Jordan Brand Classic. Like,
a lot.
we went to charity events with him. Like, we spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
But, like, even at McDonald's, I mean, you gotta think Anthony Edwards was there. He had just reclassified. He was, like, according to some people, the new
The
number
number
1
one
player in
player.
the class.
Yeah.
And Ant was ridiculous.
Man amongst boys.
But, like, there was no, like, "Oh my gosh, Anthony Edwards is light years ahead of James Wiseman." It was like, these 2 guys are the 2 best players in the country, bar none.
Right.
And so I probably would have said James just because, when we were with James so much, he was a senior, and when I saw, Paolo for the first time, he was, I think he was an upcoming sophomore. I'm pretty sure.
It's crazy.
So big difference there, but no, I would have never seen, like, I would have never said there would have been some massive gap between Paolo and James Wiseman, but here we are, and it's just the reality of the situation.